And it is a privilege to have the man, the myth, the legend, the undefeated champ, Dr. Dino, with us for this exciting program.
It's real simple. I'm right, they're wrong. The nuts and bolts know which one they fit. The fact that the brown cow can eat the green grass and give the white milk, and I churn it and get the yellow butter, and I eat it and get the blonde hair, that's proof of a common designer, not proof of relationship. You know, I was driving around today, and all the cars I saw had round tires. All of them. Every one. Does that prove they're related? They've lost their mind. Here, I tell them, I found what you're looking for. You guys who believe in evolution have lost your marbles. I got them right here. I'll keep them for you. Come visit Dinosaur Adventureland. You have lost your marbles. I got them. And there's artificial selection where a human being survives or selects the one. So natural selection is an observable fact. My wife's pug wouldn't go 3 minutes up there. The squirrels would eat it, okay? So they got flies with no wings. What do you call that, a crawl?
Yeah, matter of fact, as long as the species is alive today and we can test it, I think that would be a great indicator for how we could determine what animal kind was on the ark. Because if we only see chromosome fusions and genetic decay, then theoretically we should be able to go backwards in time and look at the animals that have the highest amount of chromosomes and say, look, that animal was probably on the ark.
Please throw Grandma down the stairs her hat. What exactly does that mean? We throw Grandma down the stairs, or we throw the hat down the stairs? We got a couple of ducks I feed a couple times a day when I give my tours here. They got feathers growing out of the side of their head. It's a mutation. The bones of the head didn't grow together right, so they're mutated. They're still a duck, and they're still stupid, like the rest of them. I love it. Go ahead. Matt, you can have the pug. Where do you want me to send it? You're a primate. Oh, really? One guy called me last week. He said, Brother Hovind, my daughter is, I forget, junior high, I think. The last question on their final exam was, do you believe evolution is the best theory to explain everything? Yes or no? And it was worth 30% of the grade. I said, send me the name of the teacher, the name of the book, a copy of this test. I want to get a lawsuit going on that one.
Richard Dawkins conceded that it could be the case that we were seeded here by aliens. And so if that's the case, then it could be possible that these aliens seeded life forms with similarities. And if that's the case, then it's possible that evolution didn't actually happen. So even on their own terms, evolution is not a fact.
Well, if I found 50 soldiers after a battle that are all deaf in their right ear, I think maybe I would assume they all had a bomb go off on the right side and deafened them. The fact that we have some similarities could just as easily be a common designer, or we've gone through a common trauma, or just our level of understanding is kindergarten level of all of this. They got charts here with amoeba connected to the whale. Are you wanting to believe you're related to an ape for some reason, or are you willing to listen?
What I want or not is kind of irrelevant here, Ken. It's what the evidence suggests.
Oh no, there's a motive why people choose certain bits of evidence to look for. There's a motive. Are you running from God for some reason, or if I could prove to you there was a God and he made the world, would you accept that? Would you believe him, or are you going to keep going looking for more evidence for your evolution?
Some pretty extraordinary evidence for that extraordinary claim you're bringing up.
You're bringing a claim that everybody's related to a mosquito and came from an amoeba. If you believe in evolution,
evidence for it. So, Ken, do you know what those lines on that chart represent, since you keep bringing up lines on paper?
I do indeed. They represent a wild imagination from somebody who was drunk or on drugs. You asked me what I think they do. I think they represent wild imagination from an alcoholic or a drug addict.
So you don't like these charts, but you also don't know what they represent.
That line is supposed to represent that some kind of descent. Here they're showing the
there we
protozoa.
go.
I understand. It doesn't. That's not science. I'm answering your question. You don't like my answer. No, evolution does not happen. Dogs make baby dogs every time. But you guys go absolutely start raving lunatic and think the dogs are related to mosquitoes because you can connect the Chihuahua and the Great Dane. I don't think you're ever going to crossbreed squirrels and end up with wings on it. Do you think they'll ever get a dog as big as the moon, Andrew? You guys want me to pay to have all the kids learn that the amoeba turned to a biology teacher. Yeah, okay. Move on or shut him up when it's my turn to talk, okay? Why do they have the amoeba with the line going up to a biology teacher? Donnie, shut him off when it's my turn to talk. Please, shut him off. Okay. You're never going to get a dog as big as the moon or as small as a bacteria. But you guys want to take this amoeba and add arms, eyes, legs, hair, skin. You're going to add all kinds of things that amoeba don't have. It's dumb. Capital D, dumb. We are probably losing 99% of the audience right here because he wants to harp on one little minor point that no human on the planet completely understands what all these proteins do. And he's certainly wasting my time.
Sure.
I'd rather have him debate somebody who's more expert on this topic than me. Move on to a new topic. Go believe what you want. But I think we're losing all the audience by hammering on this one, giving this guy all this time.
So my main problem with evolution is how we name animals. Like I would be an ape because my ancestors were apes, which if you want to define it that way, that's fine. Until we discover so many animals and like we just run out of names. I told my sister's ex-boyfriend about this, and he said we'd invent new names. And I was like, really? What do you think, Kent Hovind? Dr. Kent, do you think that makes sense? Like, we'd run out of names?
I don't think, no, we're not going to run out of names.
Also, do you remember that I called you? You remember that?
I get a million calls a day. I'd never remember that. But go.
I could have sworn you agreed with me on the naming. I thought you agreed we'd run out of names. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure you're right about the animals not caring at all what we name them. They don't care. They're just animals. But I could have sworn if we named them a certain way, it would help us understand them better. But I don't think we're doing it right now. Like, we're not doing it correctly because we probably didn't come from protozoa. Maybe the scientists just thought it was true and put it in there. Maybe they are lying. I don't know. Maybe they just want to get a paycheck. I want to know.
They have muscles that attach to them that let them maneuver their penis around to make a baby whale. I mean, the whale's penis might be 15 feet long, and he's got to move that thing around in the dark underwater without being able to talk. Noah was in the ark for over a year, and there were no cages in the ark. All the animals were friendly. Let them wander around. Put out piles of food, they'll find it, Go back to their room at night when they want to go to sleep. Our squirrels look for other squirrels. They don't care at all about my wife's dog. Never tried to mate with them one time. It supports the muscles that support the whale's penis, 15 feet long. As I get older, I get more cranky about it. I believe Moses had to drop the stick, it turned to a snake. Put his hand in his coat, came out with leprosy. Touched the water, opened up, they crossed the Red Sea. I think that's a miracle. I believe it strongly. I couldn't prove it scientifically. Somebody made for me a rock with Grandpa on it. We're going to make them and sell them in our bookstore. Grandpa Rock.
Yeah.
Thank you. Go ahead. Sorry. So yeah, I think the trees probably had rings. The first day God made them, probably had rings.
Everybody's name is gone. Like I know it's Donnie and Ken, but everyone else's names, I don't know y'all's names because it all just went away.
It doesn't matter. What's the question? Does not matter.
I was just curious about that.
Truth doesn't change. I feel like I'm trying to explain colors to a blind woman here. If you get one animal evolve a little better than the rest of them have to die to make this work. Suppose we had one animal slowly becoming a cow from an amoeba. It's a little better than an amoeba. Well, what about the rest of them? Well, they got to die. Plus, you got to have two of these evolve at the same time of the opposite sex in the same place. They got to find each other. You got a real problem, a lot of problems for evolution. We are living in a junkyard compared to what Adam and Eve saw. It's the same planet. It got totally wiped out by a flood. So no, he didn't have to remake it. It's just we're living on the leftover usable parts of a junk car. He can take dust and turn it into Adam and Eve. I believe that. If evolution is true, I haven't lost a thing. I've lived a wonderful life. Everything's fine. If creation's true and you're wrong, you've lost it all. I'd encourage you to really think about that. Pascal's wager. I can't lose either way. Thank you so much for having me, Donnie. Let's do it again anytime.